In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. My dear brothers and sisters, welcome to our program, Daily Walk with Mary. Today we reflect about Our Lady of Nanteuil, France. This was built in the 1st century. This shrine dates from late in the 1st century, making it one of the oldest shrines in France. The oldest shrine that exists so many centuries is really a miracle of Our Lady. According to tradition, some of the first Christians in the area discovered the statue of residing on the branch of an oak tree. Here again, they first see a statue of Our Lady. This statue they found on the branches of a tree, an oak tree. Residing on the branch of an oak tree. They happily took it and placed it on a nearby wall, near a fountain, and went to summon the neighbors to show them what they had found. When they saw the statue of Our Lady, they were so happy. They took it, and from the branch of the tree, they brought it down and placed it on a wall. And then they went around to call the people, to show them the great miracle, to show them the statue that they had found. On returning, they found that the statue was not where they had left it. They were actually so surprised because they were sure there was nobody else coming there. It was the only place. That is why they left the statue alone and they went to call their friends. But when the people came, they did not see the statue there. Since this was an isolated spot, they wondered who might have taken it, as nobody was supposed to reach there, come there. Later, the statue was found once again where they had first seen it, sitting on the branch of an oak tree. Our Lady preferred to be there where that statue was first found. So by itself, the statue went back to the tree and placed itself on the branch of that same oak tree. Since Our Lady did not seem to want to be moved, the first chapel was accordingly built around the tree, with the branches with the statue being on the upper floor. So they built a chapel in such a way that the tree on which the statue was found was inside the chapel, and the branch on which the statue was found now comes to the first floor, upper floor of the building. So the ground floor, they have the chapel, the place for prayer and the other gatherings of the people, mass, and as you go to the upper floor, they can see closer the branch on which Our Lady stood. A parish church, later built next door, shows late 12th century architecture. So a parish priest is seen later, but that was about the 12th century. The statue was found in the 1st century. But the shrine was already very old at that time. It was already 11 centuries past when this parish church was built. The church and the priory of Nanteuil belonged to the abbey from the first years of the 12th century. So till then, the statue and the chapel was there. People used to come to pray, but it was formally began to be taken care of by a congregation that was in the 12th century. Construction took place attributed to Philip Augustus, who wanted to show his gratitude to the Blessed Virgin for a double benefit. He was the king, Philip Augustus, and he wanted to show his gratitude to Our Lady by building a church, and gratitude for two events. One, the first was for when his prayer had been answered and his thirsting army had been drenched by rain to quench the thirst. They were marching and they reached a place, they had to cross a place where no water was available. And the soldiers were so thirsty. This king didn't know how to help them. And perhaps it would have been so severe thirst they were experiencing. Then they began to pray earnestly to Our Lady. And to their great surprise and consolation, we see mysterious cloud comes and covers the sky. And then heavy rain is poured upon them. They were fully drenched in water. Surely, not only that they could satiate their thirst, but much more, they were so consoled, happy. They were like having a very refreshing cool bath. That is how Our Lady answered the prayer of this king. The second was for their victory over the King of England and their taking of Montreal. In fact, the second column that supports the arch on the right side is there we can see the face of the king and all those who were with him, the nobles. The face of the monarch, along with the faces of other leaders of his army, was there pictured or depicted or cut in the beam of the structure of the building. So that shows that they were giving themselves to Our Lady as a great thanksgiving for this timely help, not only for giving thirsty soldiers their drink, but also for giving him victory over his enemy. The devotion of kings and lords for the Virgin of Nanteuil was shared by the people. So it is not only for the king and the soldiers and their great leaders, but the ordinary people began to take up this devotion. From everywhere, people from everywhere they came on pilgrimage, especially the Monday of Pentecost. That was the day they had fixed for expressing, manifesting as a community their devotion and their gratitude to Our Lady. The Monday of Pentecost, which gave birth to a famous fair which was established before the 14th century and continues to this day. They have arranged a great fest. People gather together in a joyful mood. Devotion, gratitude, as well as great mood of merrymaking, a festivity. They gave birth to a famous fair which was established before the 14th century and continues to this day. Even now, on the Monday of Pentecost, they have this great gathering and this great celebration. The religious upheavals of the 16th century left Our Lady of Nanteuil disturbed. France was a place where so many turmoils took place. The French Revolution is just one of them. But before the French Revolution, a change came over the statue. The smiling face became sad. Our Lady, the statue was originally made in a smiling mood. Our Lady was smiling. But with the approach of the French Revolution, the face of Our Lady was changed from smiling to a sad face. The smiling face became sad, and many pilgrims testified to seeing tears on their cheeks. Not only the smile disappeared, sadness spread over the face of Our Lady, but tears were seen trickling down the cheeks of Our Lady. One of the pilgrims, that is how they desecrated the statue. One of them, those who came there, they threw a rope around the neck of the statue and pulled it to the ground, breaking all but the head. The statue was pulled down, and when it fell down, actually the statue was shattered. But the head remained intact without any harm. A woman who carelessly tossed the head aside and looked for a better loot was punished by almost instant death. A woman there who was favoring this desecration and this work of great atrocity. She went there, she turned the head, the parts of the statue that was broken to pieces, and she was looking for if she could get something, some pieces of gold or something valuable and so on. So it was part of looting the statue, and the punishment was she instantly died there. Surely that was clear sign that she was punished for the desecration of the statue. Another woman took up the mutilated head and had it until the destruction was over and a new body could be made to go with it. So she took the head and kept it safe, and when the upheaval was over, the head was brought and they could supply a body according to the nature, size of the head. Thus the statue was remade. One of the many miracles recorded of Our Lady of Nanteuil is the cure of a little boy who was completely crippled. A crippled boy. Perhaps he was lame. And he was brought. His mother carried him on her back for 3 pilgrimages. That means 3 years. 1 year they came, were there with prayer and so on. I went back, no sign was seen, no sign of healing. Then 2nd year, again, the mother brought the child on her back, and still Our Lady seemed to be disinterested to the prayers of this woman. And the 3rd time, that means the woman had a constant faith, a strong faith. She was not willing to withdraw the trust she had placed in Our Lady. And that was amply rewarded. The 3rd time, she brings the child to the church, she prays, and as the child was carried on her back when she was brought to the church, walked all the way along by himself and thus he was fully healed. And the third time, the shrine of Our Lady of Nanteuil, he returned home entirely cured. The shrine was especially famous for the cures of sick children and was a favorite of King Louis XI. King Louis XI often used to visit this church to pray because he was so much attached to Our Lady venerated in that chapel. The shrine had a privileged altar that was highly indulgenced. It was a favorite of the Venerable Olier and of the saintly vagabond Benedict Joseph Laber. So here again we see how a real devotion to Our Lady brings favors, heavenly favors to those who cherish this devotion. And those who are constant in their faith and in their dedication to Our Lady, trust in Our Lady, will surely receive, as the case of that boy who was carried by his mother for 3 consecutive years. And then so many other miracles that took place also there. Let us again, once again ask for the grace to deepen our faith, to strengthen our trust in her, that our life too may be privileged with greater favors and graces from Our Lady, Mother of Jesus. With this confidence, let us receive the blessing from Our Lady. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.